In this video, we are going to try to understand other people, other artist images. Now, why we are doing this? Because we can learn a lot by other good artists. And what we are trying to do is we are going to deconstruct other images, other people images, and see if we can find some elements that we know they are necessary to build a good image. Now, those elements are, of course, the focus point first. So we are going to look for a main character of the shot, a main area of the shot you need to look at, and then how they force us to look there. And there's many ways to do that. First of all, we have shapes, so perfect shapes, like rectangle, circle, etc. We can have contrast, so the difference between a bright area and a dark area. We have saturation and hue, so the strength of a color and the color itself, because some colors attract the eyes more than others. We have guiding lines, so strong lines that brings your attention in a point of the image. And then we can have the amount of details, because if you have a lot of details in one area, you are driven to look there more than areas without details. And then we can see actions, or if you prefer, we can say movements. Let's say, I don't know, there is someone walking, or like in this shot, we have the waves, moving on the water. And, we can take a look about that and see if in some way that thing drives our attention in and where it drives the attention. And then we can see if there's any difference, if there is a play on difference. Now, what I mean about that, um, differences can be everywhere. For example, in this image, we have concrete and we have nature. So, something human made and something natural. And even this game of differences, it's a very, very valuable when you want to, underline or show something a lot more. Imagine if you have a forest and then somewhere there is a building inside the forest, and there is this kind of uh, difference between the human made object and something which is not. So, anyway, these are the topics we are going to cover, and then we are going to try to check if there is a balance point, and at the end, ultimately, we can check if there is any loop. So if the image kind of brings you back on the on the focus point, I would say, the you know if it's balanced in a way that brings you back to the starting point, and you can spend a couple of seconds more on it because of that. Now, a few disclaimer. First of all, the images you're going to look at, they are not from state of art. We have here, I try to, pick the best artists, or at least, some studios that are kind of different. So they have different style. So Mir is well known for the natural slash realistic style and moods. Luxigon is a little bit more crazy and, I would say futuristic, or anyway, painty style. And then we have Simon Stalenhag, which is one of my favorite artists. And this guy is not an archivist artist, and this is not 3D. Everything is painted, even if it looks, sometimes three-dimensional. And I pick him because it's a master of composition, and everything looks so, I would say, possible, even if there's like crazy things like robots, or now this is the new collection of images that there's like this kind of you know projected videos on the sky, in the sky. So but anyway, everything looks so possible, I would say, and natural. And you know this is why I picked him. And then I picked Fernando Guerra, which is one of the most famous architectural photographer in the world. And I picked him because most of the time, when I look at photos from him, they kind of remind me of 3D renders, because those photos are pretty clean and perfectly shot, and everything is sharp. And also the use of people, it reminds me what we try to do when we work in Photoshop, when we try to add people on top of our renders. The thing is, he used people as a part of the story, and this is great, this is incredible, because then buildings are made for people. And when you look at the building itself without anyone around, it you cannot feel, sometimes you feel not inside the picture. So the fact that we have someone there force us to feel you are there, and also gives you a little bit of idea about the size of the building, because you can relate, you can make proportion and say, okay, this is the height of the guy, so this is the height of the building, or so on. So you see, this is amazing. These photos are great, and that's why I picked Fernando as an example. Now, another disclaimer: this is not about telling, oh, this image is good, this image is not good. Okay, I'm not judging the image. I don't care about judging other people's work. It's not how I am. Is about understanding, or trying to understand, why they did such a decision. Okay, why they portray the building in this way. Okay, why they added, I don't know, this element, or why they picked this time of the day. And so if we understand the reasons behind why the image is done in this way, we can probably then think in the same way, and think in the right way when we have to make our own image. Okay, and so forget about me saying, oh, this is beautiful, this is not beautiful, this is good, this is not good. It's not about that. It's about understanding why they did it. Okay, so let's start from mirror, and let's start from here. Okay, we can tell immediately then the focus point of this image is for sure this central part here. And I can tell that because I can see very strong, rectangular shapes. Okay, so we have a rectangle here, and we have these areas on the left and on the right that push you, as you can see, to look here in the middle. And even if normally what you do is, when you have this kind of lines on the sides, you tend to keep looking in the middle. Now it's a little bit weird, but we basically stop here because there is a very strong contrast, as you can see there. And anyway, the fact that the building stops in this position here, in this at this distance between us and the camera, I mean, there's nothing more after, okay, after here. I mean, there's the ocean, sea, a few islands, yes, but if you think about it, there's nothing important in terms of um, storytelling. Okay, I mean, yeah, I can understand. This building is over the cliff, is basically on on the sea, but I don't care here. I mean, if about the sea, we don't really care about it. We know it's there, we understand it's there, and in the moment you understand something, it's there, and you know what is it, then you don't care about it. So the most cool thing here is this part of the building, which is hanging on nothing. Is basically on top of a cliff, and it looks also dangerous in some way, even if it's a positive image, because there's sun, we have a night lighting, and it's a good atmosphere. But anyway, we are on top of a cliff, and also there's someone here, okay, which I don't know, to me looks like, I don't know, a kid, but who knows. And it's we have this sort of difference between what we can feel, which is a good feeling, I believe, calm, and peace. It's a good day, so I feel good. But at the same time, it's kind of a dangerous place, because you know it's a really high cliff. So and the fact that they put here someone instead of, probably, I don't know, here, it makes me feel like they also want to play on this difference about feelings you may have. And who knows if the image would be better with the guy here on top or here at the bottom. It depends on the feeling you want to make other people feel. Okay. But anyway, it's also cool because we have this rock formations basically leaving on top of the building. And these stuff here probably is part of, I don't know, it's part of the project, probably, for sure. And it makes you look here, because there's just this cool details. And so it's something that you would love to understand and recognize and look at. Okay, so imagine this building without these rocks on the top. Maybe the image would work anyway, but the fact that we have them, it's a plus. And it's a plus also because we can make connections, and your brain loves to make connections. So for example, here the connection is this. The connection is that we have this kind of rocks there in the sea, and then we have these rocks here on top of the building, and then we have this rock here on close to the camera, in the foreground. And when you have connections, okay, your brain loves that. It's kind of if you are like a young kid, and you can recognize something multiple times, and then somebody gives you an ice cream. That's the as a prize. This is how the brain works. You feel good at finding the same stuff over and over. Okay. And let's say that and you know what, they put someone here with a red jacket just in case. I mean, it was too small. This is a nice way. Color saturation is a nice way. I mean, this is not saturation, sorry, this is the hue. Okay, this is the red color that works. And if you see, it's in contrast with everything else in the image. We have blue color, dark blue color, yellow, gray yellow, and a mix between yellow, white, and blue, and then boom, we have red only here. It's made on purpose. It's made on purpose. Um, you know, so this is it. The balance point here. I mean, the thing is, you probably don't need a balance point in this image, because anyway your eyes, so the guiding lines in this image are so strong, okay, that you go anyway here, and then you go back on the building anyway, because the building is kind of heavy. If you look at the whole picture, it's a very heavy and I would say element. Normally, I would be afraid personally to show such an horizon, because this stuff here. Not normally, what I think is, when you go with the eyes to the horizon, is pretty difficult. It's pretty hard to go back, on the subject. But the fact that we have, this very large box here, this rectangle, and this line, it kind of push you back here and force you to look at the center anyway. So another way to work with an image like this, I mean, yeah, there is here a small boat, which is a nice little touch. I mean, another way to work like this could be to have, you see here, maybe something bigger down there. Anyway, supposedly that we can, our habits are to write from left to right, so we basically go from here to here naturally when we look at an image. As you can see, these cliffs in the water are on the right, which is exactly what I waiting for, because these are like arrows pointing to the left, and as you can see also here, these clouds are pointing to the left. And so it's a way to say, okay, let's go back on the left and start to look at the image again. And also one other thing that works for this image, this is the last thing I can say, the fact that we have dark areas, bright areas, dark areas, bright areas. So we have this kind of dark, bright, that really works when you want to when you want to get the attention on an area. And if everything is in light or everything is in shadow, that means you don't want the attention there, probably, okay? Because you're getting bored by that area, and there's nothing to see, there's nothing to point at. Okay, good. So let's go back on another image. Sorry. Let's go from for this one, and this one was if you remember the video about the loop, you can see one of the images from our courses about the airport, the one with the airplane on the left, that resembled this one. And actually this image was the reference for that artwork. And in this one, of course, we have the focus point, and we can see that there is a strong guiding line here. I mean, is a guideline made of reflections? Okay, it's basically works on contrast, because we have this white speculars, and then we have dark areas on the side. So basically is the same thing of having like an arrow pointing there. And then we have this shape, which is very cool. Okay, and you know, it's part of the building. It's the shape of the building. And you know, it looks like we can, you know, we can draw such like a loop even in here, because it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and then it goes back here, you know. And so is a loop to me. And we have some good contrast also, you can tell. Okay, one pixel is white and the other pixel is dark blue. So it's you know, we have contrast. And also in this area we have a little bit more saturated blue color, which helps for sure. And also, if you look at details, we have nothing here, which means that we don't care about that part. We don't care about that area. There's nothing to see there. Meanwhile, this area is full of details, of course, because it's the main character, and you want to look here. And also, as you can see, there is a nice difference between vertical lines and horizontal lines here. And this is part of the play. This is part of the game. This is part of the, you know, I would say, this is a way to attract and to not get you bored by this, by the image. And you know, that's it. It's pretty simple, I would say. It's pretty. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not simple to make an image like this. It's a natural and pleasant image to read. Okay, you don't have to make any effort to read this image. Okay, and that's good, because then your brain will thank you. And maybe, I mean, if I would do this image, I don't know if I would spend some times playing around with a balance point. Okay, I don't know, maybe just a glimpse of moon here. I don't know. It's I'm not saying this image is wrong. I'm just saying that if I had 30 minutes more to work on this image, then I would definitely try to understand if I can add something. Okay. And last thing here, even if it's really dark, there is, I don't know, it looks like a geometrical shape, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's kind of a funnel. Even here, you see, you have some lines on the border that push you in the middle. I mean, not necessary probably in this case, but you know, that's why it's important to know post-production, because you can help the viewer to go where you want. And if it's effortless, you should definitely do it. And even here in the sky, you see, you have these dark areas that brings you in here. And now I can see there is also some rails here that, you know, gives you this kind of shape. But I mean, it's hard to notice at the first glance. Okay. And another thing, last, that really helps to go and look in the center is the fact that we have these speculars on the waves, on the small waves, and they are big at the beginning, and then they become, you know, more and more subtle, smaller and smaller. And the fact that we have this difference in shape, in the size of the shape, guide you there. And if you think, it's the same of having stairs, same concept. When you have stairs, the first step is big, and then the second is a little bit smaller, and then a little bit smaller, and then a little bit smaller, and then with your brain goes up. This is the same concept. Let's go to another image. You know, this one, It's I mean, if I see something like this, for me, imagine this is not an Archivist shot, but it's a movie shot. This imagine this is basically like a screenshot of a scene from a movie, right? I would say that the building in here is not the focus. The focus is the main character of the story is the ferry boat. Okay, is the ferry, and then everything else is basically environment, and probably it makes sense in a shot like this. And if you see, there's a lot of lines, you see, that try to drives you here in this point, and even here there's like lines driving you to this point. Trees, the lines from the horizon, okay. And then some lines, they just they go where they go, and it's the building, it's like that. So probably you can, but if you see here, there's also this dark lines that brings you back in the center. And even in this in the background, even if basically they are, I mean, trust me, the first time I saw this image, I I mean, I not noticed them. I noticed the stuff here now. In the background, we have vertical lines, you see, pointing down. And they are very subtle, but they are there and they help. And of course, we have same thing here, big waves, and then because of the perspective, they become small and small, and so it push you here on the center. And even here we have strong contrast, as you can see. We have the ferry in shadow, and everything else is basically a mirror, like chrome, so it's very bright. And we have this white line on top of the ferry, which basically helps to understand where it ends and where the buildings start. And it's very helpful. But then the color gets saturated on the building, and so we have a stronger saturation on the building than on the boat. And it's kind of a way to whisper, to say, what, probably you should look there anyway, even if the attention it's on the boat. Okay. And there's also a game of differences even here, because the boat is very small, and you can feel like it's kind of a probably smaller than what it is in for real. And it looks like a small model of a boat. And then because of the fog, and and the fact that this building is not visible in the entire is in entire shape, it makes this building to looks massive, to looks huge. And also the fact that this building is kind of horizontal, it underline its weight. Okay. And it's a game of differences. So small, huge, and then boom, on the back we have something which is massive, right? But at the same time, because of the fog, because of the values, it's like white and almost white here. You know, the importance, they're not appealing. They're not, I'm not saying that they're not appealing. They are not that important to the viewer. Okay. And so that's it. It's pretty cool. Let's change the image. This one, I love this one. Now, I love this one because it reminds me of a letter, and it's basically a E, right? I don't know if it's, part of the willing of the architects. I don't really know. I don't care even. I don't care. It's nice that it's visible, and for sure we understand this is the focus point. And the fact that we can understand, we can find a letter in its shape. It's like, having someone patting on your shoulders. Oh, yeah, very good, man, very good. You find it. And we love to make a connection, and in this case the connection is between the shape and the letter he. Okay. Now, I mean, contrast is obvious. This is basically, this is pure white and this is black. I mean, it's also very strong, the border of that. And the fact that we have the reflection, of course, helps, because again we have a connection, and we love that. And that's it. I mean, everything else is just pitch black, and you know why? Because there's nothing there you need to look at. Maybe some white lines that, just kind of, differ from the lines of the water, and the lines of the building. So you see, we have these vertical lines. So, and again, another time, once again, they are playing on differences. Okay. And this time the differences are based on line types.